Hello everybody. Today we are going to be starting our grid drawing. Before we get started with our drawing though, we have to get our photo that we're working from gridded as well as our drawing paper. So right here you can see our drawing paper. It's gridded out in a 1" by 1" grid, okay? Before we grid our drawing paper though, we have to grid our photo. So essentially we're gonna be placing a grid just like this on top of the photo that we're working from. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to get that started. All of you are going to have a little bit different size photo that you're working with. So it's important that we start in the right position, okay? So I have a portrait here. There's not a defined border. So what I'm gonna do first is take my ruler, line my ruler up with the edge where I can see where his shoulders kind of cut off. And then I'm gonna take my pencil and just create my border on that side. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna make sure my ruler is lined up on the bottom. So I have where my ruler starts, it lines up on the edge. I'm just creating my border so I've got a nice clean edge to work with. Now from here, I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna come down 1". Now the reason I'm doing this is because I don't have a top border. If your photo is framed out and you have a top border, then you don't even need to do any of these steps, okay? This is just for those of you that don't really have a clear border. Now you do. So I've got my picture framed out. Some of you may have already had that just with the way it was printed. You had a background color. Mine was on white, so I didn't. So now I need to start creating my grid, okay? So wherever your photo begins, that's where you're gonna start your grid. You're gonna take your ruler and you are going to make sure where the measurement begins, the dash, is where you're starting to measure. Not on the edge of the ruler, right here where the measurement starts. Then above each inch, so at the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, I'm gonna make a dash. And then if I have some left over, I can go outside. I'll make a dash at the 7, just so it's an even 7 inches. Then do not flip your paper, okay? Just slide your ruler down. If you flip your paper, your measurement will be off. I'm gonna slide it down, make sure I'm on the edge again, and I'm going to make a dash above each inch. Now, I'm using a red colored pencil. That way you can see it over my black and white photo. You can use any color you'd like. Now I'm turning the photo. I'm making sure my ruler is on the dash at the top and the dash at the bottom, and I'm going to connect them. Dash at the top, dash at the bottom, connect. Make sure you're holding firmly. We want our lines straight. If your lines are not straight, your whole grid drawing will be off. This is the most important step, creating the grid. I'm pressing down on my ruler as I draw the lines so that it doesn't slide around on me, okay? And I'm always making sure that this end of the ruler is on the dash and so is this end. Connecting. So now I have vertical lines going all the way through. Well, I need my grid lines that are horizontal as well, all right? These are all 1 inch apart. I'm gonna make them 1 inch tall as well. So to do that, I'm gonna start at the top, line my ruler up, make sure it's right even with the top of my photo, and I'm gonna make a dash at every inch again, but this time I'm going down. Slide it over. Making a dash at every inch. And I'm gonna go to the 9 just because I can end on a number there. All right, now I'm going to turn it so I can comfortably connect these lines. Okay, so I'm putting a 1 inch by 1 inch grid on top of my photo. Then, once we've got this done, we will create a grid on our drawing paper that's exactly the same. Then we'll be able to draw our picture perfectly, with perfect proportions exactly as the photo. Okay, grid drawing is an awesome technique that helps people be really successful in creating highly realistic drawings. All right, and then my last grid is here. You know, I could have got away without drawing that little edge, but whatever. So now I've got my grid. It's perfect. It's 1 inch by 1 inch each grid. But now I've got to number it, okay? So across the top, I'm going to number over each grid. So I have 7 grids across. So that means my photo is 7 inches wide. And then I'm going to letter these, okay? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. And my photo is ready for gridding. It's ready for drawing, all right? So that's how you grid on top of your photograph. Thanks, guys.